Sawadee and welcome to Thailand News Update. In today's news, travelers to register for the Thailand Pass QR code no less than 24 hours before their trip to Thailand, Songkran festival to be potentially cancelled again this year, and monkeys overtaking Phetchaburi province. All that and more coming up. Thailand's famous water festival Songkran might be cancelled for a third year in a row if the daily COVID-19 infections reach 30,000 per day. The massive water festival and gunfight celebrating the Thai New Year has already had the tap turned off due to coronavirus restrictions. The DDC warns that Songkran, which is April 13 to 15 this year, will be cancelled again if the COVID-19 situation isn't under control. Health officials expect the number to peak around the end of February to early March, at least a month before the annual Waterfest. The head of the DDC is urging the population, especially those in risk groups, to get a booster and to avoid group gatherings in family, school, and workplaces. He also told residents not to panic, as most of the cases are those with mild or no symptoms. For those planning a trip to Thailand, travelers will need to register for the required Thailand Pass QR code no less than 24 hours before a trip. But the Thai government is highly recommending that travelers register and plan a trip at least 7 days in advance, as the processing time before approval can take 3 to 7 days. For those who are traveling to Thailand for an emergency or urgent situation, you're being told to send a request and relevant documents to testgo@consular.go.th to expedite the registration process for the Thailand Pass. There's a full list of details for registering your Thailand Pass at thetiger.com. The Bank of Thailand predicts the country's inflation will exceed the target rate in Q1 this year. They're blaming rising raw food and energy prices, especially oil, as the world oil prices continue to soar. According to the Thai Central Bank's inflation targeting, the headline inflation rate was in the range of 1 to 3% for 2022. But now they're saying upside risks to inflations have increased. But they've also claimed that there is no indication of broad-based increases in the prices of goods and services. A spokesperson says the rate of raw food price increases have been below 7 to 8%, which is not a huge concern in the larger scheme of the Thai economy. In Phetchaburi, a central province south of Bangkok, monkeys are breeding like rabbits. Now, they might look cute at first, but the booming number of monkeys might threaten tourism, since the monkeys often steal people's belongings and go on occasional rampages through the main city with their simian gang wars. Right now, there are 1,000 to 1,500 per district, and this number is rising to 3,000 in the city. An advisor to the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment said the monkeys are now being systematically sterilized and monitored for disease. In the past year, the project has caught and sterilized 600 monkeys. The monkeys are freed after they're sterilized. Monkeys in some Thai provinces have a reputation for becoming aggressive, most famously in Lopburi. After Songkla, authorities accused one food company of hoarding 200 tons of pork last month. The government is on a mission to crack down on pork hoarding. Authorities have become more strict about storage and receiving procedures and inspected over 24 million kilograms of pork. Pork prices are finally lowering after a drastic rise in January, where at one point many people even resorted to eating crocodile meat instead of pork. At least some good news for crocodiles. A government spokesperson said wholesale pork prices have now dropped to around 100 baht per kilogram and retail prices at around 200 baht per kilogram. Indian scientists say they have come up with a vaccine that is effective against all variants of COVID-19. Yes, that's all variants. With the new SARS-CoV-2 virus versions causing new outbreaks, scientists at the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research say they've designed a vaccine which can defend against any potential coronavirus variations. The scientists believe that their vaccine, ABS-CoVac, would, quote, be able to generate protective immunity against all 6 virulent members of the SARS-CoV-2 family, end quote. The researchers first discovered several common areas in the spike protein of the 6 distinct virus variants, which experience a few changes and thus vary just slightly during the outbreak. In a Singaporean news broadcast on the Winter Olympics, it wasn't the coverage that got the attention of the viewers, it was what was happening in the background at the Beijing bar. Behind the Channel News Asia correspondent were 2 men passionately kissing, a taboo for Singaporeans where broadcasting laws prohibit LGBT content and same-sex relationships remain officially illegal. Although the kiss was removed from a version on CNA's website, a video of the kiss has been seen over 825,000 times on TikTok and a popular Chinese social media network, Weibo. One TikTok user wrote, quote, "This is actually an act of revolution," end quote. It was the look given by one of the couple who posed directly to the camera post-kiss that has caught many people's attention. According to a representative of Kaleidoscope NTU, a group formed by students at Nanyang Technological University in Singapore to raise awareness of discrimination on LGBTQ rights. Activists are now enjoying the effect of the Winter Olympic photobomb to point out the obsolescence of Singapore's laws, since the video has sparked outrage in the city-state where LGBT rights have advanced at a snail's pace compared to the world's more progressive economies. Villagers in Indonesia have freed a crocodile of a motorbike tire that had been stuck around his neck for more than 5 years. Since 2016, conservationists have been trying to capture the crocodile to free him from the tire, but had not been successful. But this week, a villager from Sulawesi Island in the east of Borneo, along with dozens of other villagers, caught the 5.2-meter-long reptile and removed the tire before releasing it. The latest rescue effort took 3 weeks. A 34-year-old bird seller, identified as Tilly, snared the reptile using chicken as a bait and ropes to catch the saltwater crocodile. Dozens of other villagers assisted in dragging the crocodile to shore and cutting the tire off its neck. Tilly is now in line for an award when his bold strategy pays off, according to the local conservation agency. And now for a quick update on the COVID-19 situation here in Thailand. The CCSA has reported 14,822 new cases of COVID-19 with 20 new deaths. According to the latest reports, there are currently 105,129 in care and 8,503 released from care within the past 24 hours. And that wraps up the morning news for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to keep up with all the latest news around Thailand and the region. Also, click on the boxes right here to watch Good Morning Thailand with Tim and Jay, and also Thailand News Today with Jet Gunther this evening. I'm Natty from the Thaiger. Sawadee ka.